Hello everyone and welcome to another YouTube video. I'm Hype the Commentator and thank you all for joining me today. Today is episode number 6 of the Indie Showcase series where we take a look at some of the hottest stars in the independent professional wrestling scene. Today we are taking a look at West Coast Pro Wrestling. It is Titus Alexander and Will Ospreay at Ill Mannered. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. All right, here we go. The bell is underway. Oh, Ospreay went for it quick, but Titus Alexander sidestepped. This is Titus Alexander and Will Ospreay here at Ill Mannered at West Coast Pro Wrestling. And just like that, Titus Alexander kips right back up to his feet. And these two are going face to face, nose to nose in the center of the ring. What a standoff between these two. Ospreay, who's made his name around the world, and the up-and-comer Titus Alexander. Trading forms back and forth. Titus Alexander in control, but a thunderous chop from Ospreay really did a lot to Titus Alexander. Ducks under Alexander. Hurricane Rana to Ospreay. Just like that. Alexander finds his way back in this one, and he's gonna fly with a suicide dive into the chairs, into the seats of the room, into the crowd. Titus Alexander not holding back here tonight. Will Ospreay is sent into a bunch of chairs, and that's not gonna feel pretty as this match goes on. That's gonna affect Ospreay long term. Colliding with those chairs the way he did, you can see him holding onto his head. Could have some damage to his neck. Alexander went for the cover, but barely enough for a 1 count. It's going to take a lot to keep Will Ospreay down. Oh, what a chop to the chest. And again, a chop to the chest of Ospreay. And sent into the corner. Oh, Ospreay gets out of harm's way. And Alexander gets the boots up on the middle turnbuckle. But a thunderous chop stuns Alexander, who falls off the top to the outside on the floor. And Titus Alexander gets out of harm's way. Going to take some time to recover. But Ospreay goes up and over. High cross body on the floor. Will Ospreay taking out Titus Alexander on the floor. And Ospreay is now in control just like that. It doesn't take too much for Ospreay to take control. And Ospreay sends Titus Alexander into the chairs, into the back a few rows. Alexander goes. Oh, wow, now flipping off the crowd. And Ospreay seems to not be making any friends here. It isn't about friends. Ospreay rolls back in the ring. He might take this by count out. Ospreay may be getting a bit too full of himself here. You don't want to underestimate Titus Alexander, the young up-and-comer, the future franchise. As you can see, Alexander holding onto his lower back. The damage has been done. I mean, he went back fast into a few rows of chairs. That's not going to feel good. And Alexander trying to drag himself to be able to pull himself up. But Ospreay going to continue the attack. Sending Alexander face first, top turnbuckle. And a thunderous chop to the chest of Alexander. And Will Ospreay once again mocking Titus Alexander. Doing a lot of showboating here. You don't want to underestimate Titus Alexander. And Alexander gets caught with a huge scoop slam from Ospreay. And an elbow drop out of the ring. Hooks the leg, goes to the cover. 2. Only enough for a 2 count. Ospreay doesn't seem too pleased. Thinking that was a 3 count, but not quite. The fans are chanting, "Let's go, Titus." The fans want to see Titus. Ospreay has done nothing but show disrespect to this crowd. Wow. That chant is not PG about Will Ospreay. That is for one thing for sure and for certain. And you can't blame him the way Ospreay has shown the disrespect to the crowd here at West Coast Pro Wrestling. And Titus Alexander starting to fight back. Thunderous chop to the chest, but a right. What a jab. What a jab from Ospreay. And Ospreay picking up Alexander. Sends him in the corner. Ospreay. And full speed ahead. Went towards Alexander in the corner, but Alexander got the legs up. Oh, Alexander went up to the top looking to fly. Ospreay swept the legs. Spine first, connects with the mat, and now Ospreay doing a little bit more showboating, some dancing. And sends Alexander in the ropes. Alexander ducks under, turns him inside out. Tornado DDT in the air. Great counter. Great counter from Titus Alexander. This is exactly what he needs. He needs to get up to his feet. He needs to capitalize on this one, but his lower back is bothering him. That seems to be a reoccurring problem since being thrown back into those chairs. It's how do you get up now? As he pulls himself back up to his feet. Can he do it? Clothesline now. He's starting to pick up the momentum he needs. He's got to push through the pain. And Ospreay sends Alexander to the ring apron. Titus rolls through. Rolling Thunder. Oh, but gets caught by Ospreay. Forearm from Ospreay. Oh, turns inside out. What a backbreaker. Look at the height. What goes up must come down right in the knee. Cover. Hooks the leg. Only enough for a 2 count. That's tough. It's really tough for Titus Alexander. Thought he had it right then and there, but it wasn't enough to keep down Will Ospreay. And Ospreay back elbows to Titus Alexander, continuing the attack. Sending Titus in the ropes. Titus counters, handspring, backflip over, handspring from Titus. Turns it into a handspring, cutter. Cover him, hooks both legs, high hooks. Oh, near fall. Titus's eyes say it all. Titus's eyes tell a story better than I could. He thought he had it, and it wasn't enough to keep Ospreay down for the 3. And Titus Alexander calling it over. Perhaps looking for the final blow. Sending Ospreay into the ropes. Rolls through. Ospreay holds onto the ropes. Kick to Alexander. Springboard. Forearm. A flying forearm right to the jaw. Paying homage to the phenomenal AJ Styles, someone he looked up to, someone who got him into professional wrestling. As Ospreay, great counter from Ospreay with that forearm. And Ospreay going back to work on Titus Alexander. What does Ospreay have in mind now? What in the world is going on in the mind of Will Ospreay? With a thunderous chop to the chest of Titus Alexander, Ospreay could be closing in on a victory here. Oh, absolutely devastating. Chop to the chest. Ospreay tried to go for a backbreaker, but the damage was done to his spine earlier with that devastating backbreaker from Alexander. Titus gets caught. Spinning backbreaker from Ospreay. Hooks the leg, goes to the cover, and it's only enough for the 2. This match is still going on. These two men giving it everything they've got here at West Coast Pro Wrestling. And Ospreay back up to his feet, saying it's time. What in the world is going on in the mind of Ospreay? A kiss goodbye for Titus Alexander. Thank you for coming. Titus, counter. Hook, backslide, cover. Oh, but he couldn't get all of it. What a forearm. Oh, backflip, kickflip. Went for an enziguri. Titus ducked. Now from behind. Oh, Oh, what a kick to the face. And thinking, Cutter, but turns it into a drop kick. Great counter from Titus Alexander. Both men are down. Who's going to make it back up to their feet first? We are back down to square one with both men down. Both men need to find their way back up to their feet and get back in this one. The fans here want to see Titus make it back up to his feet. They want to see him capitalize on that huge drop kick to counter Ospreay's Cutter. Can Alexander make his way back up to his feet? Can he do it? Will he do it? And both men now up to on their knees. And they're in the center of the ring. What a forearm from Alexander, but it's kind of weak at this point. These two put each other through a lot. Now a forearm from Ospreay. And now a forearm from Alexander. These two trading blows back and forth, center of the ring, going tit for tat. Who wants it more? Ospreay. You can see the fierce look on the face of the Billy Goat, Will Ospreay. Finding himself up. What a forearm to Alexander. But now Alexander fights back with a forearm of his own. Alexander on wobbly legs. Forearm to Titus. Titus fighting back with a forearm of his own. And now the thing is, these two are really giving it everything they've got. And you've got to wonder how much pain their body's in, how much either of these men have left, how much longer this thing can even go, because these two are really bringing the fight to each other, trading blows back and forth. It's going to come down. It's really going to come down to it. Trading forearms back and forth. Who wants it more? Forearms. And forearm. What a huge forearm. Taking out Titus Alexander. Absolutely devastating to Titus. And Titus is down and out, staring at the sky, staring at the ceiling. It may be the case if Ospreay can pick up the victory. Can Ospreay capitalize on this? Ospreay now goes towards Alexander. Has him. Thinking a Stormbreaker. A Stormbreaker would close this one out, but Alexander blocks it. Titus is fighting it with dear life because he realizes that'll be the end of the match if it connects. Softening up. Alexander. Oh, swept through. Now a forearm. Oh, what a roundhouse kick. Nailed Ospreay. And turns Ospreay. Oh, brain buster. Goes to the cover. Hooks the leg. Could this be it? Oh, but Ospreay kicks out at 2.5. You gotta be kidding me. Titus Alexander thought that was it, but there's still fight left in Alexander. Can he pick up a huge victory here against Ospreay? Ospreay, the IWGP UK champion. And now, scoop slam. Nope, countered. What a super kick. Another super kick. And here comes an Cutter. Gets caught by Alexander. Sends Ospreay to the ropes. Rolling through. Into a high German suplex. Great bridge. This is it. What? What? Ospreay just kicked out of the roll through German suplex. And Alexander can't believe it. He just hit Ospreay with his biggest shot. Maybe not. He's picking up his groove. Look at this. Ospreay counters. Sit out power bomb. Hooks the legs. 2. Turns into a cover. Only enough for a 2 count. This time, Ospreay with an Cutter connects. Hooks the leg. 1, 2, and no! Alexander still got some fight left in him. And you can see the eyes widen of Ospreay thinking it was all over, but it's not enough to keep down Titus Alexander. Both men are down and out. Ospreay, you can see the frustration as he pulls on his hair. He thought that was going to be it. The Cutters won a match in the past, but it's not going to keep down the future franchise. Titus Alexander, but the hidden blade will close this one out. Here we go. Hidden blade. Alexander ducked. He kind of saw it out of the corner of his eye. Rolls through. Oh, has a tights too. Oh. Big boot. Clothesline turns Ospreay inside out. And now Titus Alexander is really feeling it. He could be closing it. He's saying it's done. Signals it's over, but Ospreay jumps up and over. Oh, hidden blade. A quick hidden blade to the back of the head. And now blindsides Alexander and a storm breaker. Goes to the cover. Hooks the legs. This one's all over. 2 and 3. And it's all over. What an effort from Titus Alexander. Will Ospreay picking up the victory here at Ill-Mannered at West Coast Pro Wrestling. Nonetheless, a heroic effort from the future franchise, Titus Alexander. All right, everybody. And that was Will Ospreay and Titus Alexander at Ill-Mannered at West Coast Pro Wrestling. In the end, it would be a hidden blade and a stormbreaker to put Titus Alexander away for the 3. Nonetheless, a heroic effort from the young up-and-comer, the future franchise, Titus Alexander. And with that being said, thank you all for tuning in to episode 6 of the Indie Showcase. Thank you all for all the love and support. Don't forget, follow me on all my socials on Instagram at Hype the Commentator, TikTok at Hype the Commentator, Twitch at Hype the Commentator, right here on YouTube at Hype the Commentator, and Hype Commentator on X. Thank you all for all the love and support, and I will see you all in the next one.